There are 3 different types of wheel cleaners, and if you're not sure which one to use, you could potentially damage your wheels. Different types of cleaners help to clean different types of debris, right? We have water spots, we have grease, we have brake dust, we have iron particulates that get embedded into the wheel. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down those 3 different types of cleaners. We're gonna have acidic wheel cleaners, alkaline wheel cleaners, and then pH neutral sort of iron removing wheel cleaners. So we're gonna go over these 3 types, and then we will also jump outside and work on an actual vehicle. We're gonna use all 3, and then I'll show you my preferred method as well. Also talking about the brushes that I like to use to clean my wheels. But with all of these, you do wanna be careful on certain finishes of wheels and things like that. Typically, this is just a broad statement, typically acidic cleaners you can run into the most issues. Alkaline cleaners are safer for general use, and then the pH neutral is obviously safe with the iron removers in them. But we're gonna go into each one specifically right now. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about the acidic-based wheel cleaners. And to represent that, we're going to be using Detail Co's Ragnarok. This is an acidic-based wheel cleaner. This typically comes in, acidic is anything typically 5 and below, alkaline's typically anything 8, 9, and above, and the neutral's right in that middle. This comes in right around a pH of 3, but it does utilize other surfactants as well, so it's actually safer than other acidic wheel cleaners. This is a great balance for that. Now these acidic wheel cleaners are fantastic for removing many things, right? Brake dust, and also really important, acidic things are really good at removing mineral deposits, hard water spots, other contamination that gets on your wheel. An acidic wheel cleaner will strip that off very easily. Now real quick, let's talk about the pros and the cons of an acidic based wheel cleaner. One of the pros, very little agitation is typically required. The very potent cleaner. They're really fast at removing brake dust, again, also at breaking down the mineral deposits of water spots and things like that. And they're also great for a full refresh. If you have really neglected wheels, this is typically a great way to reset those. Now, one of the cons of an acidic wheel cleaner is also one of its benefits. Because it's so powerful at cleaning, you do run the risk, especially on unclear coated wheels or high polished wheels, things like that, you can run into some issues of breaking that stuff down, causing damage to the wheel, or even chemical etching. One more benefit though, especially specifically of this product, you can dilute it and use it on paint and things like that at the dilution to remove baked in water spots and things like that chemically. Now next up, we're going over to the alkaline wheel cleaner. This is my Quiver Brake. This is a high alkaline, so high pH wheel cleaner. Does a fantastic job. But one of the things that is great about alkaline wheel cleaners is they are typically safe for most situations. I will state though, this is a potent high alkaline cleaner, great at dilution as well. Typically 4-to-1 and you're good to go. A little bit of agitation and it's perfect. In certain situations I will go straight or 1-to-1, but that is very specific. But they do a fantastic job. And an added benefit is that they also remove the browning and you can use it to agitate and clean the tires, prepping them for your tire dressing. Now again, pros and cons of an alkaline wheel cleaner. Pros are they're typically safer than an acidic wheel cleaner. Like I said before, they're good for wheels and tires and fantastic for maintenance or frequent use, right? And it removes all the same stuff, the brake dust, all that road grime really well. Not great at removing mineral deposits though. You'll want to go to the acidic one for that for sure. The cons of an alkaline wheel cleaner, like brake, is especially when we're using this at dilution of 4-to-1 or so, agitation is typically required, right? It's a good idea to get in there and break everything loose. This will help to loosen everything, but you still need to agitate to get it fully removed. And then at super high concentrations like this, like if you are using it completely straight, we're going to get into that same kind of potential damage risk as an acidic cleaner, right? On high polished wheels or clear coated wheels, you could get into issues of chemical staining as well. But to negate that, just make sure to use the right dilution ratio and you'll be good to go. Now, for the third one, our iron removing wheel cleaner, we're going to be highlighting Koch Chemie Magic Wheel Cleaner. Now this is, I call it a neutral. It actually lists right on here, pH of 5.5. So not quite neutral, but it's right there. And that has an iron removing capability into it. When you're braking, think about your brake pads rubbing up against the brake disc. It's causing all those particulates to kind of form into the air, and then that sits onto your wheel, right? A little bit of moisture, those things embed in, and then those are your iron contaminants, and that's what does a great job of removing. Now the benefits of something like Magic Wheel Cleaner or something that has an iron remover in it is typically they are safe on all surfaces, right? They're, again, closer to neutral, you're not gonna have to worry about that as much. They do a fantastic job at removing the iron particulates. You'll see it turn purple. Now one of the negatives though is because it has the iron removing capability, that drives the price up of these types of chemicals, right? It's an expensive piece of the chemistry. So that does increase the price. So that's one downfall. Another downfall is that component of it does have a rotten egg smell. Very, very, I mean, that's the same for iron removers for your paint, for the wheels, all that stuff. You do get the odor. This one's not terrible. And then another one that I really like is Yum's wheel cleaner. That one's fantastic as well, and it masks the scent even more, I think. But this one does, I've been using this stuff forever, so fantastic product. So again, with that one, pros, it's safe, removes iron contaminants, cons, smells, and it's pricier. So let's go ahead and hop outside now, and I will show you each one of these and their use case on a vehicle, and then I'll show you my usual wash method for my wheels and tires and the brushes that I use as well. All right, guys, so here is the vehicle that we're gonna be working on. Now, again, these aren't absolutely hammered. They're dirty, right? They're definitely dirty. And the inside barrel is quite dirty and built up. So that'll be a good test. So we've got this one. This is the one we're gonna be using an acid on. And then this one in the back here, we're going to be using the Alkaline on. You can see they're basically in the same exact condition. Oh, look at that. That's actually pretty built up. We actually have maybe, it looks like this one has some water spotting on it as well, if you can see that. So I'm actually gonna swap that. I'm actually gonna go acid here and Alkaline there. So this one will be Detail Co's Ragnarok, which is an acidic wheel cleaner. And on that one, I'm gonna be using my Quiver Break, which is a high alkaline wheel cleaner. And then after we do that, we'll compare those side by side. We'll talk about dilutions, and then we will also use the iron removing wheel cleaner as well. We're gonna be using Koch Chemie Magic Wheel Cleaner for that. All right, guys, so here we are, Quiver Break Wheel and Tire Cleaner. One of the great benefits of an alkaline wheel cleaner is that you can use it on tires as well to really strip out the browning, get these all prepped for your tire dressings. Now, this you can use for heavy, dirty, straight to 1-to-1. Otherwise, typically what I recommend is 4-to-1, and that is for your basic maintenance stuff. It's just when the wheels are in bad condition, depending on the wheel surface. Again, we'll talk about that, right? As far as this is a standard OEM clear-coated wheel, alloy wheel, good to go. If you're doing unclear coated wheels, super high polish, things like that, no matter what, when you go high alkaline or acidic, you do run that slight chance of chemical staining. So just keep that in mind. In this case though, we are good to go. We want to make sure the surface of the wheel is cool to the touch. You always want to do that. Wear gloves. In this case, I'm going to be, just so we can see the cleaning power of this, I'm going straight. Let me undo this here. All right, and here we go. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and spray onto the wheel surface, right? Let it dwell a little bit. You're gonna start seeing it break this stuff down. We're gonna spray into the barrel of the wheel as well, okay? And then we're also gonna spray it directly onto the surface of the tire so that it strips out and gets us all nice and ready for us for dressings down the road. All right, so we've got it all coated, sprayed on there. Now, we don't want to let it dry onto the surface. That's just a standard safety protocol for any wheel cleaner, but we're letting it sit, and now we're gonna go ahead and rinse it off. So just real quick, I'm gonna show you guys, I just started spraying it, and you can see all the browning coming off of the tire. Look at that, getting pushed onto the wheel. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so as you can see, it's stripping everything off of the face of the wheel, no problem. Okay, even without touching. Now, under most circumstances, to save product, to save money, all that kind of stuff, I do typically recommend 4-to-1, which means 1 part product, 4 parts water. When you do that, then I always agitate. We're gonna get into brushes here towards the end of the video as well. But for this, we're just gonna go ahead and try and do our best with a touch-free solution. So we're gonna spray the inner, you can see the before and the after there, right? See all that brake dust and everything built up there, and versus there where it's all stripped out. So you just gotta get in there, use the pressure washer, everything's been broken down. So use this to get in there and spray it all away. All right, so we've got that all done. We're gonna let this air dry. I might take a blower to it, but we're gonna let it dry without a touch so we can see the actual cleaning ability without touching it. Now, let's go ahead and move on to that wheel. That's the one that had the water spots on it as well. That's where, I mean, the acidic the acidic wheel cleaner should really shine there because the acid will help. Acids are also great, and Ragnarok specifically from Detail Co. you can also use for water spot removal and things like that. So let's do it. All right, so here we go, guys. We're gonna go ahead and move this stuff away. So again, here is the surface of the wheel, nice and dirty. The barrel of the wheel, nice and dirty. We're using Detail Co.'s Ragnarok wheel wash. Again, it says right there, a powerful wheel cleaner made with acidic surfactants. So this sits at about a 3 to 4 on the pH scale. Here we go, let's get the pump sprayer going. There we go. So again, we don't want this to sit onto the surface and dry. We want to be able, but look at that, it's just stripping everything. Now this is a safer version of an acid too. Like sometimes you can use a straight, just acid. A lot of people use that. A lot of professionals will use that when cleaning their wheels. This one is a little bit safer in that sense. They actually use a lot of surfactants as well to help kind of blend it out. So we're doing the same thing here. We're spraying into the barrel as well. We're all good to go. That's been sitting a little bit. Again, just letting it sit for probably 15, 20 seconds, something like that, and then we'll go ahead and rinse it away. All right, here we go. So face of the wheels looking fantastic. Let's see where those water spots are or were. As of right now, completely gone. We'll see once it actually dries. So here's the front wheel. This is the one that was used with Quiver brake, okay? Alkaline wheel cleaner here, higher pH. So wheel surface looks fantastic. Inside, pretty darn good. More agitation. This is just really, really stuck on there. I think would have achieved a little bit better there. But again, for maintenance and stuff like that, if we did hit that with the brush, it'd be 100%. So good to go there. You can see it is loosened up now and it did wipe up really, really well. Now inside of the lugs, there's still some dirt. Again, a brush would have helped with that. Or these are just kind of older too. That might have, nope, it is dirt. Yeah, so again, little brush in there. The tire is nice and clean. If you look at the tire, the surface looks really, really good. A little wet there, but other than that, it's stripped and ready to go. So wheel surface looks absolutely perfect with zero agitation. The inner barrel was quite rough, did a really good job, but not 100% without agitation there. If we go over to the acidic side, right, pH about a 3 or so, I said, Ragnarok from Detail Co. Surface absolutely looks phenomenal. Acidic wheel cleaners are an unreal reset because we'll look here, okay? So the surface looks fantastic. The water spots are gone. Inside the barrel is so clean, okay? So again, the acidic is just such a powerful, powerful tool for getting things cleaned up. Now, I don't use that on the rubber, so if you look here, we're still dirty on the tire. So again, heavy, heavy, heavy duty cleaning, a reset on your wheel. The acidic cleaners are phenomenal. General maintenance, being able to do a heavy cleaning on the wheel surface and then also cleaning your tire, the high alkaline, incredible job there. Now let's go to the third option, which is the iron removing wheel cleaner, and we'll do some agitation with that one as well. All right, guys, now last up, we're gonna go ahead and go to the iron removing wheel cleaner. This is going to be Chemie Magic Wheel Cleaner. Let me go grab my phone and I'll take you guys in here. Additionally, because this cleaner, they're not the most powerful, but they do a really good job of removing a lot of brake dust and contaminants. I do have some brushes here. The first two I'm gonna show you. The first one is my Quiver S-Turn wheel brush. Phenomenal wheel brush. It comes with two different sleeves. One's softer, the other one's a little more aggressive, and it's an absolute noodle. So you can bend it and get it into any situation that you really need. So I absolutely love this thing. I typically use it, straighten this back out, with a little bit of a bend like this. That way you can get into the barrels, behind the spokes, all that stuff. Incredible, incredible brush. Additionally, the brand new Scorp brush from Auto Fiber. Very, very cool construction here. This is their wheel surface brush. Obviously you can use it for other things as well, but I like to use it for this situation here. But it has this rubberized hook on it, so you can hook it on your buckets, things like that. Really, really comfortable. It compresses, it's really soft, so it doesn't feel like it gets into your way at all. The bristles are strong enough for cleaning, but gentle enough for the surface as well, and they spring right back. So they do a great job of getting into all these tight surfaces. So let's go ahead and spray on the Magic Wheel Cleaner. This kind of goes on a little bit foamy as well. So you can see there. Here, let me grab my phone. So we're gonna spray this stuff on. Now, I wanna be very clear about something. I said it stinks, and they do. They smell like egg, essentially. But it's not so bad that you're gonna be, you're not gonna wanna use it. Actually, it's one of those things that you kind of get used to, and then you start to, I don't wanna say I like it, but you start getting very, very used to it, and it's no big deal. So again, I'm just gonna do, because this stuff is more expensive with the iron removing agent, I'm not gonna deal with the tire at all. I'm just letting it sit on the surface of the wheel, okay? And we'll come in and look, and you'll see the purple change of color. You can see it on the brake disc. So that is the iron contamination that gets embedded, especially off your brakes, right? You hit the brakes, all those particles, turn into dust, they settle on the wheel, and then they bake in. So this is gonna help to remove all of that stuff. So we're gonna let that dwell. Again, same story as always. Don't let it dry on the surface. And also do it in, out of direct sunlight if you can. The surface of this wheel is nice and cool to the touch, so I already knew that. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Quiver S-turn wheel brush. Look at, we can get all the way behind that spoke. Absolutely incredible. It's also thin enough where we can get, let me straighten it out a little bit. Okay, we can get in behind the barrel, no problem, all the way in nice and deep. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go around the surface, get all of this all squared away. We got even behind the brake. Now, obviously with any wheel brush, this one's nice and slim as well, but sometimes if you're working on like a high-end car with, a big brake setup, that can still get a little bit tricky, but overall this thing does an insane job of getting in and around everything is needed. All right, now from there, we're gonna go ahead and take the wheel brush. I usually, again, this is example, usually I would have this in soap as well, soapy water, and go in, but right now we're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and get in here and agitate the surface. Look at how fast these bristles just spring back though. It's really, really nice. So we're just gonna hit the surface areas now of the wheel. And then we can even see, look how, because they're able to get into these little areas super, super well also, okay? So you don't have to have multiple brushes. This one does a great job of getting everything. All right, we're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and rinse this off now. All right, guys, so we've done 3 wheels now, right? The first one, we used the Alkaline cleaner, my brake wheel cleaner. Then we used Ragnarok, which is an acidic wheel cleaner. And then we used Magic wheel cleaner, which has the iron removing agent in it. For the last one, I'm gonna show you my usual process for cleaning wheels. A lot of people like to foam on as well, like spray on the cleaner and then foam on the soap. I don't always do that. It depends on the surface of the wheel. If I want extra lubrication, typically I don't do it. So I'm just gonna show you my process. This is actually diluted at 1:1. I had it in my truck. I forgot this one was diluted 1:1. So that is where I'm gonna use it again. Again, in this situation, I'd probably usually go to 4:1, save more money, and get more out of each product. So, but we're gonna go ahead and do the process now. So as I'm out at mobile jobs, right, the situation isn't always the same. So typically what I do is I will do an initial quick rinse of the wheel. Now this will dilute the product a little bit, but it's important for me to do this because I like to cool the surface of the wheel down. If I'm out doing a mobile job, right, I wanna make sure I'm not, it's sometimes not in the best situation and it could be baking in the sun. That helps to cool it down. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Again, the Alkaline wheel cleaner is just a really, really good, look at that. It starts already drawing all that stuff out of the tire, right? So I like to kind of coat the tire a little bit. Then I go into the face of the wheel. And then once I got this face of it coated, I would go ahead and make sure to get enough in the barrel. All right, then we go ahead and grab the Quiver S-turn wheel brush. We go ahead and get into the barrel of the wheel first. I still have some of the iron removing Magic wheel cleaner on here. That's why it's foaming so much. It doesn't typically foam this much, just to be clear. But we'll go ahead and agitate all of that. And then once we're done with that, I come back and get the face of the wheel. Now another thing, so right here, that gap, I cannot get any brush in there, right? That is also why I like to use my Alkaline wheel cleaner, because it is powerful enough to strip off a lot of the dirt and debris in there without agitation. So for those situations, right, I'm coming through here, I'm getting everything. I know now where I can't get in, okay? Making sure I'm gonna bend this out a little bit more. Turn to that way. Now I can get in and really get behind here. So we can really do a full 360 surface cleaning with this brush. Now that that's all done, I'm gonna take my brake wheel cleaner again and spray directly behind there. Just let it sit straight. Let that dilute a little bit, or dwell a little bit, not dilute. Next up, we're gonna take the squirt brush again and hit the surface of the wheel. And as you can see, guys, there's still some iron removing the magic wheel cleaner in this brush as well. Not necessary. It's kind of nice because it is helping to dissolve some of that iron particulates as well at the same time, but definitely not normal what I'd be doing. Usually my brush doesn't have it left in there, but it definitely doesn't hurt anything. If anything, it kind of helps actually. Now, when you mix the dwell time and the agitation, we should be good to go and rinse right away. So here we go. All right, guys, so there it is. I just went ahead and dried it all down. As you can see, the tire is all clean, no more browning within that. And then the surface of the wheel is all perfect, as well as in the barrel, okay? See, with the agitation, it comes out absolutely perfect. One more thing I wanna show you guys is the two other Scorp brushes from Autofiber, because they're both incredible as well. So this one, again, they're made for different things, right? You could use this on carpets and things like that. I like it for tires. Agitating the tires is phenomenal with this. It's just a perfect amount of stiffness. It's not overly stiff, but it's just really, really good. And then this one, again, many uses, but I like to use it for applying tire dressing, especially on heavier treaded wheels. These ones aren't heavy treaded, but we're gonna go ahead and show you how this works for that as well. All right, guys, so here we go. We've got the Scorp brush. The green one is incredible for tire applications, dressing applications. So we've got Quiver Abyss Tire and Trim. I'm just gonna spray some right onto the surface. Again, this is a flag, that might have been a little too much with the angle right there. It's hard to do this all one-handed. But let me go ahead and show you how nicely this distributes onto here. Look at that, boom. Look at that. Does an incredible job of getting everything into every little crevice, all these little things on the tire. It's getting in there nicely and does just an incredible, incredible job. So we'll see, not dressed, dressed. The Scorp green brush, incredible for tire dressing. One last benefit of the S-turn brush as well as the Scorp brushes, look, you can hang them right on the edge of your bucket. So you can still use a hook and hang them that way. There's a hole there, but they hook on just like that. Same thing with the S-turn brush. You can actually just bend the handle and then hook that on super, super easy as well. Let it dry out into your bucket or whatever else. Fantastic. So there you go, guys. I hope that video helps you out, kind of just distinguish between which wheel cleaner that you want for your preference. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on this. This is just the general guideline of what those three different categories are for. But again, if you have something that works for you, stick with that. This is just my preferred method is the Alkaline. That's why I put that one in my line. But again, having the acidic wheel cleaner, absolute necessity in certain situations. As a professional, you want to have all the tools that you need for every situation, right? So definitely having that. And then an iron remover is just something that regardless I'm doing on a probably quarterly basis, something like that, to try and just keep my wheels looking their best. I want to make sure to go ahead and use that sparingly, get the iron contaminants out, and then maintain it with my other products. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope that video helps you. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Again, I'm gonna have all of this stuff linked down in the description so you guys can go check it out. That's it for today's video though. Thanks so much, and we will see you guys on the next one.